Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for coming back and checking out our channel. My name is Nate, and our company is Custom Made by Us, and we do direct to film printing, getting sheets and transfers. Oh, I gotta hurry up and get this in the oven. Hold on one sec, I'll be right back. I had printed multiple nozzle checks this morning, so I had a lot longer of a leader coming in, so it was almost to the bottom. Even before my graphics were coming through. So getting the prints going this morning, got everything in the print queue. Powder sometimes just doesn't come in, so I got to give it a little tap there to kind of get it behaving. So I think that's probably enough to get it going. But my video today, sorry for the just kind of moving around so quick with everything, is I put those little wooden rails in here. There's 3 of them because of the static electricity issue that I have on this intake tray. So for me, you can see them down in there. It just kind of keeps the film up off the tray completely, so less surface tension. And to be honest, since I've started doing this, I have not had a single issue with the static. So we'll see how this job goes. I got quite a few prints to print out today, so. Anyway, I'm gonna get to it and get this up into the conveyor, get the oven turned on, get the vacuum turned on. Once I get this underway, picking up on the exit, the intake reel up here, I'll come back on the video and kind of give you an update. So today is Friday the 13th. It's my boy Jason. So be careful out there. We got some weird stuff going on in the world these days. So hang in there, I'll be right back. Alright, so we're up on the conveyor belt. Got a good little powder loop going on down there. I've got the customs going through right now. We got a couple hundred feet of film to print, so it's gonna be chugging away today. So, but again, the wooden rails that we put in there is just night and day. I mean, the film used to stick there all the time, back up in the printer. I mean, I'd have to sit here and watch it, reach in, pull it down. So since the rails have been in there, like, I really don't babysit it as much as I used to. So these are coming out pretty good. So that print there is one of those sequin images. It looks like a sequin on it with a little embroidery stitch around the edge. Those are kind of cool. So, but we'll get this one through. Once this one starts coming out, this is the first print of the day. I'll get it behind the dryer and then on the intake reel, the uptake reel. And we'll see how this print goes. That's the Christmas one's coming out too. This is what I like to see. So, again, Friday the 13th. Some people might be superstitious. I'm not. They say that it's probably better to not go anywhere today because of what's happening over the Middle East. So that's an unfortunate reality of our world right now. But you guys be safe out there, and I'll be back in a little bit. So the one thing I battle with my printer, I think it might just be an alignment issue with the oven to the printer. But the distance between the film and the tray on each side, I think it's because it gets skewed one way or the other. You know, but when I look at it on the belt, you know, it's got close to even spacing on either side. So I would prefer it to be tensioned the same on both sides, but I don't know what, I haven't really tried to adjust anything on that yet. So we will see what happens. So this is game sheet number 2. This one was 149 inches, 148 inches. So they're coming through. No static problems. So I'm going to redo those wooden rails and put the magnets in there so I can easily remove them. to make changes. So I'm going to get back to watching this, and then I'll come back and finish up when these prints are done. So here's a good reason for people often wonder what that strip is on the side of the film. And it's the wetting strip, so W-E-T-T-I-N-G. So this graphic or this print job is all white, so there's no other colors in the logo. So the printer is going to print 20 feet of this, and you don't want the inks to dry out on the other ink head. So if it's going back and forth and just depositing white on the film, then the other CMYK print head is not depositing any ink. It's not pushing any ink out of the print head, so that potentially could cause it to clog if you've printed for too long without it pushing those colors through. So the wetting strip on the side actually deposits a little bit of every single color in that little strip. So every pass it makes, it is printing CMYK, but it's depositing that ink in that strip. So that's what that's for. That's the tech nugget for the day. Okay, well, I am wrapping things up on the print jobs for today. Oh, maybe not. Oh, we'll see. So the anti-static rails work great. So the wooden pieces that I put in definitely keep the film from binding up on that intake tray. And it just prints, it just goes. Where before I literally had to babysit it. I'd stand there and watch it, because again, if it backs up, you're gonna have a major issue with those head strikes. So I'm gonna take these off. They're just held on with the double stick tape right now, and I'm gonna use some neodymium magnets, kind of drill or countersink the wood a little bit and then put them inside there, so that way I can pop them on and off easily to be able to wipe down that tray to get rid of any residual powder that may get up on that tray. Right now you can still wipe it down, but the rails, they're more of a permanent fixture, which I don't want. So that's it for my anti-static avoidance system for this printer, and it works really well. So the other thing I'm kind of struggling with our print business is just the amount of artwork you get to print, but the bad thing is the quality of the artwork. I mean, it seems like I spend more time in my print process reviewing artwork and emailing customers the issues with their artwork, and then sometimes getting involved in helping with that artwork, which is okay. But if you have 25 to 50 jobs in a day that you have to print, you can't spend half your day in Photoshop correcting stuff. So it's getting to a point where I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to manage that. Because out of 10 prints you get, almost 10 of them, I need to email the client, because some portion of that gang sheet isn't right. I'm getting gang sheets where they're using the builder, but their images are off the gang sheet. And it tells you inside the builder that you're outside of the gang sheet, that you need a larger gang sheet. So I'm then having to go in and edit the gang sheet, try to reposition things and, get it to fit appropriately, even though that, they've been notified that it's not correct. So I'll go in and fix it, realign things. They've got images on top of other images, so I'm extending the gang sheet a little bit to move that image down further, and obviously that's more film, but they've already made their payment, so I just eat a little bit of that cost. When I have to when I print that gang sheet out, it's a little bit more than what they paid for. So resolution, we need a 300 DPI as a minimum resolution. A handful of the orders today, they were 72 DPI. That's okay looking at it on a screen, but when you ask to have it blown up to a certain size and printed out, it's just not going to work. Raster images compared to vector images, so vector artwork from like Adobe Illustrator has real hard, sharp lines. I mean, they're crisp. You could take a vector image and blow it up to 30 feet by 30 feet, and you wouldn't see any variation on that edge. I mean, that's what vector art's for. Raster images, like in Photoshop, when you zoom in on it, it has a little bit of a gradients to it and a little bit of a, jagged effect to it. So if you take an image and it's a raster image that's 72 DPI and you blow it up to, certain dimensions, the edge is going to be jagged, and for me, I don't want to print that. I don't want to send that to a client. So I go back to the client and tell them, hey, there's problems with your artwork. What can you do? Can you provide me with some better artwork? We can print it as is, but if I print it, there's no refund, or I can just refund the order. So those are the options I typically provide the customer. So, but I don't know. It's getting interesting with the artwork. Sometimes it's a basic fix. Sometimes it's transparent pixels around the edge. I did a video on our channel here. I'll link it in the description below, but it's how to delete those transparent pixels using Photoshop and how to create an action to do it, which is easy. But you have to tread lightly using that action, because the threshold that you use to pick up your selection to delete, you may be picking up more pixels than you want to delete, or maybe not enough. So an example of one of the prints we did today, really nice artwork, but there was a gray transparent border around the image that I knew when it printed, it's going to have a white border, around that graphic. Even though we choke in the under base by 0.1 of a millimeter on the edge of that print job, it doesn't matter if you've got a 5-6 pixel transparent offset that's sticking out from your graphic. I'm choking at 0.1, you're going to get a white border around that image. So what I did, I emailed the customer. I don't hear back from them. So I took the liberty and I made the gang sheet longer. I took that selection of images that had those transparent borders, and I copied them and I moved them into a new document. I cleaned them up, got rid of it, brought them back into the original document at the bottom and pasted them in down there. And then I just wrote a little note on the gang sheet, this is what I did, just to, because I don't know if you want your images to have that white border around them. I don't think you do. So, I took the time and just that opportunity to clean it up. And, so now she's got two sets of those, I don't think it was like 3 or 4 logos that were, about that big. So she's got the 3 or 4 up here, but down at the bottom, she has the same 3 or 4 images, but those, I removed that transparent border so they don't have a white border around those images. The ones up top still do. I don't know, maybe that's how she wanted the image to look, and, because I don't have a response from the client, for me it was easier just to take the extra step, make the gang sheet longer, put that on there. She gets some extra images out of it. Maybe that's, good or bad. For me, I think it's a good thing, because you got both now. One has the white border around it, and then the other one didn't. But for me, that gang sheet was how big was it? 129 inches. It was pretty good size. But I mean, all of the artwork in that gang sheet was exceptional. No transparent borders, they were raster images, but they weren't blown out of proportion. They were high resolution images that they brought into the builder, so the only thing was those 3 or 4 images that were bad. So, but it's having to take the time to open that graphic up in Photoshop, do your selections and stuff, and scroll through and zoom in real close and look at things, you know, as you're kind of reviewing that artwork before you get it ready to print. So, but again, today is Friday the 13th. And I'm going to have to watch some Jason Voorhees at some point today. But I wish everybody a happy Friday. Again, I've spoke to this a couple of times earlier in my video that we're going through some crazy times right now. And there's, you know, statements that today's not a good day to go out and do things because the people that want to harm us might be out there to harm you. So fortunately for myself, I live in a state that is, you know, open carry, concealed carry weapons. You know, so I'm in the state of Idaho, and I can guarantee you every person or every man you see walking around today, I bet you he's got his sidearm on, locked and loaded. So just in case something goes down. But I do have to go out. I have to head down the hill to make some deliveries, but to drop off our customers' packages. But again, I myself will be protected. So you guys be safe out there. I appreciate you for watching my videos. If you get anything out of them, please click that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then click the bell notification so you can get notified when I do post new videos. And as always, I appreciate you guys. And have a good weekend. And I mean that.